was in the generation that grew up with the internet at our fingertips, and with that came YouTube and YouTubers, and they changed my life. It probably seems strange to someone older. They're just silly little pixels on a screen, but they were more than that. Let's start at the beginning. I couldn't really do this list without first talking about Minecraft YouTubers and just in general the Let's Players of the 2010s. I was a bit of a lonely, weird kid, and these Let's Players made videos where I felt less alone. These days, obviously, I know it's not a substitution for human interaction, but back then I had so many different interests and hobbies from my fellow students, and in a way, to see people playing video games with their senses of humor and flavored commentary, well, it genuinely altered how I viewed the internet and the world. It was also a way for me to pick and choose something for myself. I chose what to watch, and I chose what to care about for the first time. I can still remember deciding that swearing isn't actually that bad, and watching an Undertale playthrough from under the covers of a blanket. That was my childhood.
Sam, come on down! It's time to Undertale the shit out of this, bro!
Anyone can learn to draw, and any artist you look up to, whether it's your favorite Italian Renaissance man or your favorite Japanese anime man, they were not bestowed some great divine gift of talent. No,
I've always had a growth mindset, but what solidified it in my eyes was a video by Matthias Pilhid. He made a video titled Any Idiot Can Learn to Draw, and that video made me feel like I had some renewed purpose to my life besides just following along the treadmill that is the US education system. I realized that I could do more than just sit around and wait for adulthood, and found myself trying to take on that challenge of learning how to draw. I remember writing out all the fundamentals I wanted to learn and the goals for the year, and I filled in sketchbooks with still lifes and OCs. One line in that video I specifically remember was a line about how adults are very smart and can actually learn faster than kids because of discipline and knowing how to structure your learning. That is something I've applied to basically everything. As long as you have a map, you can learn pretty much whatever you want. However, at the time, even though I still really enjoyed art, the idea of doing art as more than just a hobby was still preposterous in my mind. It all changed with the next video I saw a good while later, Hiding in Public. I haven't watched Hiding in Public in a while, but his old videos are still close to my heart. He made analysis videos on anime and manga, and related it to his own life in a way I'd never seen before. One such video was one where he analyzed Girls Last Tour. I watched the whole thing, essentially spoiling the show for myself, but funnily enough, it made me curious enough to check it out for myself, which essentially changed my life. To keep it short, because I want to talk about it in another video, Girls Last Tour is an anime about two girls at the end of the world. They live in an apocalyptic, not-so-distant future where war has ravaged their Earth, and for some reason, this show was the show that really made me believe that the end of the world was coming. And not in a conspiracy type of way, but instead it made me realistically reflect on what I was doing in my life. You know, if the world one day would end. What would happen if there was no humanity left to witness myself, my job, my legacy? It marked a turning point where I secretly dreamed of becoming an animator, to recreate that feeling I felt while watching the show. Not for me, but for other people. So thanks, Hiding in Public. It was a good recommendation. However, even though I had this dream, doubts about it crept into my mind, which is where the next YouTuber I watched convinced me to quit my dream, Anusha Seed. One day, I saw this one specific video in my recommended for at least a week. It was called Why I Quit My Dreams of Working in Animation. This was a nightmare scenario for me. As I said, for quite a while, I had dreamed of being a 2D animator, going to CalArts and working for Netflix and stuff. I even considered the idea of going to Japan to work as an animator before realizing that I'd be working like minimum wage and the most horrible hours. Either way, I still wanted to be a storyboard artist or an animator. So when I saw this little video, I was scared. What if that video convinced me to quit my dreams? I didn't think it was possible that something like a little video could change my mind, but I avoided it even still. However, I was too curious and eventually clicked and watched it all the way through. She talked about how eventually, after working in animation and failing and trying to get to where she wanted to be, that she realized that she was neglecting other opportunities, such as a children's book artist, and that actually working as a children's book artist was a better fit for her. And what this video made me realize is that the core of my dream isn't to be an animator, but instead to be a storyteller, no matter what the medium is. As long as I was able to tell stories that could impact people, I've essentially won. I didn't need to be an animator, and that's for the best, especially since I went and animated a little short film for myself a while back and realized I didn't love every part of the process. I found myself more drawn to design, storyboarding, and writing than doing the drawings for animation. Either way, by reframing my dream as storytelling, doing YouTube and doing what I'm doing right now basically, and making these videos has become one way for me to live it out. And finally, for the next YouTuber, they're one of my biggest inspirations. Dreg is a satirist with skills in spoken word and green screen shenanigans who covers topics ranging from funny political rap to the need for community. When I first found Dreg, from his funny political rap and his subsequent Centricide series, I felt like there was nothing else as like Dreg's videos. I felt like every video I watched had a little nugget of insight that I could think about and wonder about for days later. And as my little parasocial relationship grew, I discovered his second channel, which I kept tabs on for a while. This second channel was one where he sincerely, most of the time, covers topics relating to art and the creative process. To me, this was a really valuable resource and a really interesting insight into making art and making art on the internet. I would watch each of these little bite-sized videos over and over again. And one video stuck with me and sort of moseyed its way into my mind whenever I was making my own videos. I don't remember what it was called, and I'm not gonna watch like 8 hours of videos to find it again, sorry. But anyway, the question Dreg asked in this video is if you want to be creating content, or if you want to be making art. There's a lot of content in this world. Is that really what the world needs? At the time I first watched this video, I answered content. For some reason, I felt like I had to be making content at the time, because that's how you become successful on YouTube. But after a while of feeling burnt out, I eventually listened to the little worm inside my head that wanted to make art. And here we are today, making a video that maybe 100 people will watch. I hope you enjoyed it.